back to an obscure tour at the edge of the internet. I am your host, the Nameless Tour Guide, and today we will be going down into the depths. Just after we talk to Knight Lordran of Karim, quickly about the mystery of Lordran, and then go on a bit of a shopping spree. What is about to happen here, symbolically, is another cutscene between Gwyn and Seath the Scalers.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
So what's happening there is Gwyn has given his gift to Seath the Scalers after they defeated the everlasting dragons. So in the opening cutscene, we see the scene where Seath the Scalers is standing atop the bodies of the fallen everlasting dragon, his kin, and he crushes one of the scales of the everlasting dragons in his hands, and then he lets out this horrible wailing scream. So in the opening cutscene, we see Seath the Scalers standing atop the bodies of the fallen everlasting dragons, and he crushes one of their scales in his hands, and then he lets out a strange wailing scream. And in that scene, if you look at the horizon, you can see the dawning of the sun. Seath the Scalers helped Gwyn defeat the everlasting dragons, but he didn't know at that time what that meant. And when the war was done, he saw either, for the first time, if there was nothing before the everlasting dragons, or if there was, he sees for the first time in a very long time the sun. And Seath the Scalers is a creature of the moon, and the Scaleless dragons are all creatures of the moon. And this comes up later when we finally get around to meeting Seath the Scalers. A lot of his items are associated with the moon, but rather than being rewarded with the moon, he is rewarded with the sun. And at that point, Seath realizes what he has done. And this also then is the story of Knight Lordran, and this is the first clue we have about the mystery surrounding him, the sunlight medallion. This faintly warm metal engraved with the symbol of the sun is the ultimate honor awarded to those who summon the warrior of sunlight and complete a goal. The symbol represents Lord Gwyn's firstborn, who lost his deity status and was expunged from the annals, but the god of war still watches closely over his warriors. So we've met another warrior of the sun, and that is Solera up over by the watchtower. And this medallion is the gifts that we talked about when we had a look at the summoning sign and talked about how helping each other out by being a physical guard, we would gain gifts, and these are the gifts that we're given. So it seems that Knight Lordran of Karim here is a sunlight warrior, just like Solera.
By the Lords, your face. Your humanity is really slipping, but there are methods. Most fools have more humanity than they know what to do with. Now, who do you imagine will make the best use of it?
So we just got that dialogue because we are hollow, and we have this appearance. And what we are seeing here is that Gwyn sought humanity at one point, as does Night Lord Trek of Kurim. So, having gathered our first clue involving the mystery of Lordran, we will head up to the Undead Berg and do some shopping before we descend down into the depths using the key that we acquired from the Capra demon in the last episode. And this shopping will involve a discussion of the difference between the remastered version and the Prepare to Die versions of Dark Souls. As the item we are about to buy has been changed for some reason in the remastered version. So we discussed that Dark had been added to the Undead Church, which was quite a cool change, I thought. This change that we are about to see now, and another change that we'll see later in the episode, I'm not quite sure what the reasoning is behind the change. I have a theory that I'll present to you, but don't know how much oversight the original creative team had on doing this port, so I'm not quite sure whether there is an intent behind the change, or it's just that a PSD file got corrupted somewhere along the way, and so they recreated it differently. There are a few subtle differences between the two versions. We'll discuss a couple of them as we go, and today we'll be discussing two of them. So here we are, back in the symbol of New Londo, as discussed in the last episode. It's time to do some shopping with the male undead merchant. Now that we know that there are two of them, we'll make that distinction.
Oh, there you are. Still keeping your marbles all together? Then go ahead, don't be a nitwit. Never hurts to splurge when your days are numbered.
So the first item we will buy is the repair box. Weapons can get dulled down in the depths, so fortunately this male undead merchant has some blacksmith equipment that he no longer needs. And now the weapon that we're looking for today, the Warrior's Round Shield.
Thank you kindly.
So the Warrior Round Shield. This shield has been changed in the remastered edition. In the Prepare to Die edition, it looks like its icon. It's kind of difficult to see because of the shine on the shield, but the center area, the center shape there, was black, and the surrounding background of it was purple. Black and purple were the colors of Velka. And these shields are wielded by the skeletons. Many episodes ago, you saw me dodging skeletons in the graveyard with shields. Those skeletons had these shields. And this is an important shield for today. Purple and black meaning Velka. The round wooden shield crafted in Lordran, decorated with the ancient Labris axe. The giant trees in Lordran are distant offspring to the great stone arch trees. This shield inherits their properties and the wood reduces magic damage. So that symbol that we see there is a Labris axe. And this shield was associated with Velka, as can be seen by the icon. Now, why would they change this design? I'm not quite sure. It seems that the designers have pulled back a little bit on these symbols that represent Velka, as a lot of theory crafters have focused in on Velka quite a lot and have attempted to push forward other characters by pulling back on the Velka symbols. And this redesign to me looks as though what they're trying to push is the idea that with the silver outline and the purple in the middle is that Priscilla, purple and silver being Priscilla, is associated with those skeletons in the graveyard. Unfortunately, that does have some larger ramifications that will come up today. But seeing that we still have the icon, we can see that there. Notice the soul of the large soul of the lost undead is here, in front of, and locked away, in front of the depths. So let's open up the depths by first looking at the key. Those banished from the undead berg eke out their existence in the depths, a damp lair with no trace of sunlight. Nearly half of the depths form a perilous flooded labyrinth. Let's switch back to the tower shield, which represents Priscilla, and head on down into the depths. The soul of a nameless soldier. So here we are at the top of the depths, and here is a butcher. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. Now, despite their appearance, the butchers are women. Notice how they are bloated. Notice next to this butcher is a black candle. Now, we haven't explored this before, but if we go here, we'll see that the intelligence stats is marked by a candle. And though we haven't got any of the artifacts of Velka yet, Velka is a creature of intelligence. She is a god of such intelligence that her catalyst allows you to cast miracles based upon your intelligence stat rather than your faith stat. And so this black candle here, sitting next to this butcher, is a symbol of Velka. Notice this woman is large and bloated as she prepares this meat. She is also a transcendent character, as is this dog that we saw above in the basement. This dog is transcendent character, and so is this woman. They are a pair. Also notice here, cauldrons and ladles and kettles. Things that are traditionally associated with witches. Notice these women also cover their face with these sacks. So this here is the table she worked upon, and this here is the black candle that we saw from above. So let's drop down into here to see where the meat comes from. Human bones and remains. Notice there are soldiers, and there are also peasants. Everybody here, all of these people, are being eaten. The depths is a place of cannibalism. And the remaining bones have been dropped down here by these butchers after they're done with them. Now notice that also that some of these bodies are in full plate armor and still dressed, while others have been stripped and cut apart. And so here we are at the bottom of the depths here, the giant rat. Now we've discussed that the rat is a symbol of Velka, and what we're about to discuss now is some more of that collection of symbols about the rat. We talked about that all the way back in the second episode when we saw the rat being skittering across the floor as Velka starts to speak and then vanishes after Velka stops speaking. Well, here we are again with the rat, and this is the biggest rat in Lordran. And not only is it the biggest rat in Lordran, it also has plunged into its eyes a Labras axe. This shield, that axe in the eye, all with the shield that in the Prepared to Die edition was coloured in Velka's colours, purple and black, representing Velka's connection to the dark, connects this rat to Velka, and with the added addition of an axe. And this crest here is a symbol of this place, the depths. So, let's put this rat hopefully out of its misery. Notice the axe has been plunged into its eye. And this giant rat drops humanity, and all the rats of Lordran drop humanity. This is to connect this humanity to Velka, and the fact that she is able to acquire it like an item, rather than having it innately within them like the other hollow soldiers that we've been defeating and been harvesting from. These rats have managed to harvest this humanity themselves. Soul of a nameless soldier again. And now, the sewer chamber key. So this is not a mystery key. This is just an ordinary key. So we'll be able to tell clearly what we have to do with this key. Key to the sewer chamber in the depths. In any community, a few bad apples are sure to exhibit insatiable greed. If they were turned undead and banished to the depths, would they reconsider their ways? Use this key to see for yourself. So let's head over to the sewer chamber and check out what's going on in there. See what's up with these few bad apples. So, here we are. We have another channeler down here. We have 2 black rats and we have 2 silver rats. So what's happening here is this is a family portrait. The black rats representing Velka, and notice that one of them was hiding around the corner, trying to ambush me. We have 2 silver rats representing Priscilla. And then we have the channeler representing Seif the Scaleless. Just as the channeler was representing Seif the Scaleless. In the undead church. Also, there is a slight difference between this rat and this black rat back here. These black rats are more potent when it comes to their poison. The silver rats that represent Priscilla are less poisonous than these black rats back here. So there we have it. Now we can get a better view of the channeler here. And this channeler is down here. The only real storyline that I could find for the reason this channeler is down here is because he is one of the people eking out an existence after being banished from the Undead Berg, or possibly he's here in search of a new master to replace Seif the Scaleless, but we'll talk about that later. So here is our family portrait of Velka, Priscilla, and seethe. And this is the other change that happened between the Prepare to Die edition and the in the remastered edition, is that all the rats used to have a texture to them, a sheen to them, that was associated, had the same sheen as all of the dragons and items associated with dragons in the world. So if you see Priscilla in the Prepare to Die edition, she has a slight sheen on her dress. There is also a sheen on the walls of the Duke's archives. These are the same sheens that you will find on the rats. And that was an extra clue to the fact that these rats didn't just represent Velka, but Velka was also an everlasting dragon. Oh, not an everlasting dragon, a scaleless dragon. So, let's see what's all the way back here, hidden away in the depths. The thing people forgot about down here. A large titanite shard. The equipment of a blacksmith.